Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about season 2 of Cobra Kai on YouTube Premium. This is a streaming service that basically has this whole web series, which is a spin-off to the Karate Kid movies. Season 1 came out last year, I believe, and this is a continuation of that after being such a huge hit. So in season 2, you guys, basically like in all my reviews, movie reviews, web series, anything, I always do non-spoiler reviews. So I'm basically just going to give you an overall what I liked and didn't like about the overall season 2 of Cobra Kai. Just letting you know kind of what my overall generalized thoughts of the new season were, and we can go from there. So from this overall just of the season 2, you guys, basically what they show you in the trailers pretty much is Daniel LaRusso opens up his own dojo in this new season. And of course, William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence, he's continuing his Cobra Kai dojo that he had from season 1, which he's also basically started up throughout season 1. And so basically, Daniel LaRusso is trying to show Johnny Lawrence kind of what karate really is, what martial arts should be, that, it's not about the money, and that he shouldn't be charging his students for lessons and stuff like that. It really should be, um, wax on, wax off, painting the fence, sand the floor, all that stuff that really kind of leads into a bigger sense of martial arts and kind of real self-defense for threatening situations and stuff like that. So basically throughout season 2, Johnny Lawrence kind of struggles to keep Cobra Kai afloat after Daniel LaRusso keeps offering these free lessons and kind of, Miyagi-Do karate and a real sense of self-defense and kind of right and wrong. Because really what the season 2 is about is, what is martial arts? Is it really just self-defense? Is there really a time where you have to take out war on somebody or battle somebody intentionally? That's kind of these questions that are brought up a lot throughout season 2. What exactly is martial arts? Should it really just be self-defense? Is there a time where it really is necessary enough to start a fight necessarily with somebody? So I thought that was kind of an interesting clashing moral throughout season 2. There was even a line spoken at one point in season 2 is there's a difference between no mercy and no honor. And I think that's kind of an interesting theme with martial arts that really hasn't been explored yet in the Karate Kid movies. And it kind of brings a new light to season 2, I felt. So that's something that season 2 brings up a lot that I thought was really interesting. But overall, guys, just kind of my generalized thoughts of season 2 for Cobra Kai, since I am a huge Karate Kid fan, and I really was glad that it got a season 2 and a continuation of some kind. So for my positives of this new season, I thought it was very addictive to watch. The second I hit play on episode 1, I wanted to go through the whole thing right away. I really hate to say this, but I basically got through all of season 2 over the course of 2 days. I basically did several episodes on day 1 of the premiere of the show on YouTube Premium, and then on the following day I watched the rest of season 2 after that. So very addictive to watch. I really was kind of hooked the second it started up. So if you're looking for a great new web series, TV show, movie continuation of some kind to watch, it's very addictive, especially if you're a Karate Kid fan like I am. So very addictive to watch for season 2. I also liked how there was more tension between the characters this time around, because season 1 was all about setting up characters and Johnny Lawrence having motivation to start up his own Cobra Kai dojo. They really can focus on characters this time and kind of tensions that are happening between them, and there's tensions between the students who are ex-Cobra Kai going to Miyagi-Do and Miyagi-Do going back to Cobra Kai, and there's tensions of there, and there's tensions of past relationships, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends. All this stuff happens throughout season 2. That's very interesting. So there's more tension between the characters. They have more time to focus on that tension since everything was set up so well in season 1. And I thought that was a benefit of season 2 is they really kind of focused on characters, focus on interesting scenarios, and they kind of put that into full use throughout season 2, which I really liked. There's also tons of Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 references. I would say season 1 of Cobra Kai was more so first Karate Kid references. Yeah, every once in a while there was a sprinkle of part 2 and part 3, but I thought Cobra Kai season 2 really brought a lot of not only the first Karate Kid, but it brought a lot of Karate Kid Part 2 in there, a lot of Karate Kid Part 3 in there. They really kind of show kind of what Kreese was going through once they kind of introduced him. Because, yes, Sensei Kreese is a big part of season 2, which I thought was very interesting. And they kind of go through what he's been through all this time and what Johnny Lawrence may not have known about him and during Part 3 and when he kind of left Cobra Kai all the way back and stuff like that. So, tons of neat, interesting 1 through 3 Karate Kid references I thought were used here very well. Fun references, interesting things that you learn along the way, and even kind of interesting nods to season 1 of Cobra Kai that you weren't think were ever going to be brought up again. One character in particular in season 1 that was just kind of an afterthought by the time season 1 was done with does kind of play an interesting role here in season 2, I thought. So can't really go into the detail on that without going to spoiler territory. So I thought the references of Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3 in season 1 of Cobra Kai were all very good whenever they were referenced in this. There's also tons of relationships that happen in this, new relationships, ex-relationships, things that come back from the past and stuff like that. If they do make a Cobra Kai season 3, once again, that'll be another relationship potentially based on how the season finale ends and stuff like that. So tons of interesting relationships happen here, old, new, ex, returning, that I thought were played around with very well in this new season. I also thought the dojo rivalries was very interesting, how one of them's very simplified with Miyagi-Do karate, and it's free, and the students are kind of questioning if it is martial arts at first, kind of how Daniel did when he was getting lessons from Mr. Miyagi back in the day, while the Cobra Kai one's very strict, very mean, no mercy. At one point, it's even no honor at one point. It really is kind of clashing visions, and I would say during the season finale, they really kind of, and like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, I'm just letting you know that there's something big that happens. That kind of question the philosophy of both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and kind of, once again, big question of what exactly martial arts is. Is it just self-defense, or is there a point where you really should offensively go after somebody, or, so there's kind of interesting questions like that. Is there really a breaking point where it's appropriate to have that breaking point, or is it really just self-defense? So I thought that was kind of interesting how they handled that, and how the rivalry of the two dojos come into play with that. I also thought this was a much darker season. I really think where they were going with story-wise was appropriate to have a darker season. I really thought that because there are clashing visions between these two JoJos, it really was important to have a darker direction to this season. So that's one thing I really liked, is a much darker approach to this new season. And I really do hope we get a season 3, because there's so much they could do, so many things that I would love to see play out even more now that they've ended the way they did, that they ended on the cliffhanger the way they did, which I'm going to bring up again here in the negatives. But I really think a season 3 should happen. I loved what they did here. As a Karate Kid fan, I was very happy with what they did. So if they make a season 3, I really think they do, and I really hope they do, and they should. Tons of things they can play around with content-wise, and because season 2 was so good, I really feel like a season 3 is deserved at this point. For my negatives, though, of Cobra Kai season 2, I thought the character of Tori, who I can't get into too much detail on, she is a Cobra Kai related character, less so Miyagi-Do, more so Cobra Kai. She's introduced in this new season, and I just kind of had mixed feelings on her. She was just kind of the mean character that showed up every once in a while to kind of make a character's life not so fun, I guess. And that's really all there is to her. She's just kind of the tough Cobra Kai student that just kind of makes her life miserable every time she shows up. So thought they could have done more with her rather than just make her kind of a stereotypical bully character. So I thought that character, hopefully in season 3, will get more dimension, because in this time around, I thought she was just kind of there to ruin somebody's life every once in a while. And even though Sensei Kreese is in season 2, and it's a very cool aspect of the season whenever he is involved with it, I thought more time and more use of Sensei Kreese would have really benefited season 2 because I really thought there was going to be that really dark Sensei Kreese moment in season 2, and unfortunately, he shows up and he helps out and everything, and yes, there is some dark directions, I guess you could say, that happened with his character. Um, but I thought more time and a bigger use of his character would have been more interesting. So more Sensei Kreese I thought could have been used. Hopefully season 3 will play around with that even more, because I really liked whenever Sensei Kreese was in use and they kind of showed his darker side that he had from the original Karate Kid movies and stuff like that. So whenever Sensei Kreese was in it, I liked it, but I thought more could have been done with him. I also thought season 2 ended too much on a cliffhanger. I just had so many questions, and there's so many things that I'm going to have to think about over the course of the year or even 2 years from now, depending on when season 3 comes out, of what exactly are they going to do with all this. Hopefully it gets a season 3. If it doesn't get a season 3, then there's just too many questions left open, and I really, as a big Karate Kid fan, I kind of need those questions answered to really kind of wrap my head around certain things. So I thought, I don't know, I thought there's a cliffhanger here. It gets you thinking. It really wants you to have a season 3, and you really hope that it happens. But I don't know. I think there's such thing as too much of a cliffhanger and just enough to kind of make you hungry for more. I wish I could have been hungry for more and had more answers rather than beg for questions until we get season 3. I also thought some episodes were just too short this time around. I think even one of the episodes was like 23 minutes long. So I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do a season 2 of something that's very popular and very well liked, make sure each and every episode is 30 minutes or longer. That's my just personal preference. But they had so much great content to work with that, I don't know. When you see 23 minutes on one of the episodes, it's like, come on, there's not 7 or 8 more minutes of this you could have been giving me to kind of spice things up and make things more interesting. So one thing I thought they could have done more with this time around. So Cobra Kai season 2, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I was very happy with season 2 of Cobra Kai. I was happy with the continuations. I was happy with the new content they brought up. A couple things every once in a while I thought they could have made better. Specifically, the Cobra Kai characters of Tori, and more could have been done with Sensei Kreese, I thought. And it did have kind of a big cliffhanger this time around, and some of the episodes were a little too short for my taste, but 9.5 out of 10 for me. I really liked what they did with this new season. Hopefully we do get a season 3, and I will see you guys back here for the next video.